Mike Moore Media.
I'm talking to Rodney Cates, Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services, our 911 service here in Rockingham County. Rodney, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Mike.
Glad to have you on the program every month, as we've been doing for a while, maybe to catch up on some things. I saw a little something on Facebook the other day, Rodney, people talking about taking a day off, a holiday here, and January 1st and some other holidays. And it showed all of our first responders 24/7. There's no holidays there for them.
There's not, Mike. That's these people are so dedicated to what they do. But you are correct. For an emergency response, there are no days off. Even if people are off, they're monitoring what goes on. And our volunteer services, even though they're off, even at night, they're coming back to run calls and respond to calls for service. So. Yeah, that's correct, Mike. In the emergency services world, there technically are no days off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wanted to say thanks to everyone and their dedication and their service, always there for us. A couple of things we wanted to talk about today. First, bring us up to date on the that EMT Academy and that graduation ceremony recently. And how's that? What's the latest on that with everybody?
That's going very well for us. All 8 of our graduates, they graduated in early December, and they are out on the trucks right now serving on shifts, and they serve right now in what's called third person. Obviously, the truck is made up of 2 people, typically an EMT and a paramedic, and these new academy graduates make up the third person, which means they're in training. So there's actually 3 people on these trucks, and once they receive training, and there's some skill sets that they have to perfect, and we document the perfection of these skills, and once we get the recommendation from their preceptor and or training officers, it's the same term, we then, based on that recommendation, we release them to second person, so they're actually the second person on a two-person crew, and they're ready to serve in the full capacity of their certification. So it's going well. We actually have one person that's already released to second person, but they came to us with EMS experience, so it's going well. We're very excited about it, and looking forward to perhaps kicking off another academy in the spring.
Oh, that was what I was going to ask you about, too, the next one probably coming up in the spring. That's a win-win for everyone, isn't it?
It is. It puts more people on the road for us. It gives people that want to get into the EMS profession, it gives them an avenue to get into that profession while being paid to do so. They don't have to take time away from a job and wonder financially how they're going to make it work. The ability to put people through the academy and pay them and employ them as they're going through the academy certainly provides a great avenue for everyone involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So another academy coming up at Rockingham Community College, and we'll be hearing more about that as it gets closer.
That's correct.
Yeah. Tell us about the recent loss. How I know that was a difficult situation with the funeral service last week. Just bring us up to date for those that may not know, Rodney.
Certainly we lost Matt Hall. Matt was a member of Summerfield Fire Department. He was the assistant chief for Madison Rockingham Rescue. Matt had served in many, many capacities in both Rockingham and Guilford County. Greatly talented young man, full of energy, full of knowledge, and he shared that knowledge with many, and he inspired many just through his presence of being around them. So he lost his life in a motor vehicle collision Christmas Eve, and certainly our thoughts and prayers go out to the family and his co-workers and all of those that he impacted in his short life, and he will never be forgotten in the skill set and the ethics that he taught everybody as his time was here in the multiple services that he worked with. Certainly will live on forever.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing that with us. I was in the Stoneville Town Council meeting last night and still talking about the police chief, the fire chief, giving their monthly reports. Still shortages there and trying to recruit new people.
There are, the public safety in general, and which would encompass fire and police and EMS and then the healthcare workers even deeper into the hospital settings are still hurting for people, and recruitment efforts are going on nationwide to get people back into the public service field, and and we're certainly recruiting good people from the telecommunications side and the 911 and EMS, and our volunteer services throughout the county are still looking for volunteers to serve in our volunteer fire departments and our rescue squads. So any interested parties should certainly reach out and contact us. They can contact me at my office, 336-634-3017, and I will certainly connect them with the proper agency they need to be connected with. If it's a volunteer or if it's one of our county agencies, we'll direct them through the application process and certainly encourage those applicants at any time.
That takes a special person to do that. The commitment, the everything involved in that, and you've been involved in this type of work for how many years, Rodney?
32 years.
32. Wow. But it takes a certain dedication to that, and people who are just wanting to help others, doesn't it?
It does, and again, as we've talked about before, you don't do it for the money. You do it for the opportunity to help others and to impact other lives in positive manners. And again, when you're able to do that, and you're in a life-saving situation, and again, whether I came from the law enforcement side, so there are many life-saving efforts from the law enforcement side, and removing criminals or the impaired driver from the roadway, you're saving lives at that point, because you never know what that person's going to do around the next curve or something of that nature. So to have the feeling of that life-saving capacity and that you have impacted a life, you don't put a dollar value on that, certainly.
No, that's exactly right. So again, thanks to everyone for your service. Anything else we need to mention? I made a note here because you've mentioned NC Ready before, and I thought maybe starting the new year that's a great tool, a great resource for people, isn't it?
It is. That comes from the state, North Carolina Emergency Management, and they continuously post updates on how we can, as citizens across the state, can continue to be ready. Traffic situations that may be occurring, or when people are making travel plans, or when inclement weather is forecast, NC Ready allows people to have an avenue to look at and to think of what am I preparing properly, and it gives us kind of a guide to do that. And certainly the cold weather that we experienced over Christmas was unprecedented. We'd never seen that cold temperatures in the last several years, and that was able to, again, information from North Carolina Ready gives us an assistance to prepare for those type situations.
Sure. What about Code Red here in the county, too? Let's mention that.
Code Red is certainly a great asset that we have here in the county. People are able to sign up. There are links on the county webpage of how you can sign up. Also, you can call our office at the same number I provided earlier, 336-634-3017, and request to be signed up for Code Red. Jason Wood, our 911 manager and database manager, can assist in setting that up. It's an alert notification, and it can notify us of weather events or missing persons or traffic events. So it's certainly a great tool that we have to notify our citizens and keep them abreast of situations in our county. Yeah,
and that's great for the county, and a lot of municipalities hooking up with that now, too.
They are, and they actually use it for administrative matters, such as if trash pickup is going to be delayed a day, or if there's a water line break that ceases water to a certain geographic area, they can use it for that. So it has many purposes, and it's not all directed around a true emergent situation. And again, it's certainly a great asset for all those that are involved with it.
Yeah, great public service tool for sure. Rodney, Happy New Year. All the best this year to you and your team.
All right, Mike, thank you, and same to you. And we appreciate the opportunity to get our message out on your podcast, and we appreciate the opportunity to serve citizens of Rockingham County.
Thank you for being there for all of us, and we'll talk again next month.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye. Rodney Cates, Director of Rockingham County Emergency Services. You mentioned his phone number several times. If you have some questions for him, we're talking about that academy and where that's going, or if you are interested in position in some of the things that we were talking about there, let me give you that number one more time, 336-634-3017. And you can go to their Facebook page, more information there at Rockingham County Emergency Services.